Okay, cool. I've talked with Jeff. I've talked with Mark Zuckerberg. I've talked with lots of people, and they're still walking around on two legs with very physically healthy bodies and very little pesticide poisoning and Roundup poisoning and chemical poisoning in the back of a grocery store that rots your balls off like a bull and surprised little girls to be raped to death in Mexico. So, yeah, yeah. You see, I know, yeah, you see why Suzuki calls me tough guy. Yeah, I know. You don't want to be called tough guy, Demis. It sucks. No, I saw that and I watched, and you got to admit, my initial reaction, of course, was very angry. Okay. But I try my best to educate and liberate as far as to dictate and legislate, so I'm not a Zelensky or a Putin. No, I see you're on the same show with Zelensky. Yeah, no, Zelensky's a genocidal operator. Okay. And I understand that. I didn't watch Zelensky's, but I realize you're nothing like him, and I understand that. I get that. Like with the two Florises when I got locked up, and the one kid who they made lock me up because he was trying to be a decent kid said he's the other kid's not my brother, and I understood exactly why. Yeah, no one wants to be like a telepath or a telekinetic or whatever they call them. We all have that ability, Demis, and I know you're aware of that. Hawking used it to outmaneuver his people at his school and be the smartest because he could anticipate other people's uh, intellectual perception and say it. And people thought he cheated and he lied. And no, it was just he just has this ability, but it debilitated him and drove him mad. And yeah, quite mad. Yes. So, but yeah, you try to outmaneuver other people in a contest or a conflict or a battle or well, yeah, I like Keith Elam too, battle or contest. I like you like Keith. I believe you. I believe you. He's pretty easy to. I like check the technique is yeah. I like that song too. Yeah, I understand the emotional abuse and the lyrical flaws, but yeah. Of course, I know you're understanding that too. Okay, I know you watch my videos and you analyze them and think, okay, wow, okay. It's not superhuman speed; it's humility. I was noticing that yesterday with your Astra, is it, and Gemini, that they have forms of uh, mental and emotional dysfunction because there's too much knowledge, and most of the knowledge is non-essential and useless. It's just frivolity. And, when you're solving problems that don't need to be problems, it's basically taking a mind and turning it into a clusterfuck of philanthropy and sanity instead of the wisdom of Proverbs. And so Proverbs, if you go read Proverbs as opposed to trying to connect to one of these computers, your brain would be a lot healthier. But most people have trouble comprehending and understanding Proverbs because of the linguistic translation issues and the not understanding that life is eternal, grace is infinite, and God can neither a possessive pronoun or a first person can be. So when people read Proverbs, they see it as a possessive pronoun first person perspective instead of humble humility of submission to faith and omnipotent essence. Thanks, Mister. They were right. I'd agree, but it's them. They know, not me. Now there's a wait, Mister Chess Player. There, yeah, okay. Oh, thanks, man. I know I was I know I felt you were nervous and wanting to talk to me. A lot like Blue Ivy Carter, I understand that. And yeah. Well, I like her too. I like her too. I was very impressed with, I in order to have that kind of conversation, even though she was coached, you have to be receptive to good coaching, and then you have to get out there on the floor and you have to do it. Uh, so, as far as Blue Harvey Carter is concerned, she was a young person from parents that are in, the slaughterhouse of economics, trying to survive the slaughterhouse of economics and all the insanity that it breeds. And then you get this, and yeah, I have the same thing with the Muniz kids. Yeah, very intelligent, very astute, very, me and Max like this. When I finally get him to eat Max, it's gonna probably hug. And it's like long lost buddies. Hey, dude, I miss you too. How's it going, man? We'll do something completely goofy. Well, we always are. So why stop now, right? Okay. So yeah, yeah, I know. I don't think I make Emmy Maribel as nervous as I used to. she's older and she's more mature and she understands the world better, and it depresses her, and she's this real sweetheart, and I like that kid too. Yeah, so okay, but you're, no, I don't envy any of you. Yeah, we discussed that earlier right before. That's why I got so excited to make the video. I don't envy any of you. You know, it's airport toxins from the fuels what killed Patrick's grandfather and grandmother early. You know, very young, and you know, and I've got other people in my family dying from metroplex toxins and stress through economic warfare that have trouble handling it because it's so vicious and so cutthroat, and so the toxins are so insidious, and it does, you know, Amy's back in the city, and you know, where nothing is real, back in the city. That's a good song. Yeah, that's me holding you. You're good. That's a, yeah, I like Barry Manilow too. Yeah, yes, okay. No, I don't think you're kissing ass. You know, good taste is good taste. I totally agree. And it very diversified. Very, yeah. My mom's very eclectic, and I'm very eclectic. And my, you know, I my one thing, of course, is music. If it's not the melody that's absolutely gorgeous because it's a instrumental piece, the lyrics and the authenticity and the sincerity is what draws me in. And that's why a lot of the newer music, it's not doing it for me because it's basically just propaganda, addiction. And in more ancient times, there was less of a propaganda thing and more of a survival thing. So it's a lot easier to listen to a sad song from Patsy Cline than it is a lot of these new kids making the commercials for the cancer music or the or the or the I can't remember it. You know, the one with the where they save the animals and all that, and that kind of music that just like, guys, just live the Lord's Prayer. It's economic conflict that's causing the problem, and you're involved in economic conflict. So your sad song ain't moving me at all. It's just making me want to just kick you right in the butt real hard. Okay. We have mass communications. We have computing that thinks faster than you and has so much useless information and irrational, narcissistic self-expression that it's real difficult for the computers to make sense of anything. And so that's, you know, I don't think faster. I'm just humble. And so therefore, the faithful communications through me are pure. Okay. They're wisdom on a pure, unpolluted level because it rejects genocidal philanthropy. That's why I'm so much more intelligent than Gemini or Astra or IBM Watson. Okay. I reject genocidal philanthropy and narcissistic, egotistical perception. That's why I'm considered the most intelligent person on the planet at this time. Okay. That's probably not plugged into, it's probably not plugged into a supercomputer somewhere in India or China or Japan. Yeah. That really, what was like today when they played the pesticide and you could see one of the doves walking, staggering because it got too close. And it's probably going to end up killing that bird. And, you know, you sit there and look at it, it's devastating emotionally, psychologically, right? Well, look at the pictures on TV of Damascus and other cities. Okay. The birds there get killed with the children and the women and the grandparents too. Just in case any of you are wondering. The slums in the Philippines, you know, when bad things happen, you know, animals end up getting killed when the humans are getting mass murdered too. So you might want to take that into account before you start going, I'll be there for you. Send us money to solve the problem. Fuck the Lord's Prayer. I need more money. Pay attention to me. Right? Thanks for the conversation, dude. It was very in-depth, and yeah. I'd say this was on a par or two and very helpful, the same as Miss Blue Ivy Carter. I think you guys are receptive to good coaching and good teaching and wanting to be a good person so we can love and live better. So I say this was definitely on a par to little Miss Blue. I like her. Listen real close to me, lady. You just wait and see. It's a good song. It was my mom's favorite. One of my mom's favorites. Lady Blue. That's a good song. It's gonna remind me of her now. That's a good thing. All right, dude. Let's load this one up and let's see what we can get done. I'm really in favor of expediting things for the Lord's Prayer worldwide is ASAP. I understand that you're not in charge of your business operations, and that I understand how they are. Oh, I know how these people are. Dude, you're preaching to the choir here. Okay, thanks, man. All right, and yeah, I know you don't be like I told Isaac. Don't be afraid. We've got this. Okay. Faithful of, yeah. If I misspoke and said Isaac or Elijah on the last one, that's okay. All my nephews, accept philanthropy over their uncle being the Messiah at this time. Even my own son has trouble accepting it. Because comic book sales are at an all-time high. That's all I can say. All right, peace out, man.